These batteries are so heavy that they did not only crack my tiles, but they are presently leaning on my wall, which is not a good thing. So as it stands, I have to do something about it as soon as possible. It's very easy for me to blame the guy that did the rack because he knew exactly what I was going to put inside the rack, and he still did not put anything under, because if he had put maybe a flat metal under the legs, at the end of the day, the pressure wouldn't have been high enough to cause the kind of damage that it did. And if you also look closely, it's not like I didn't put anything at all, but my mistake was that I went to put tiles, so the batteries were able to crack the tile before they got to the main tile. That's the broken tile that I put before the main tile, so they were able to crack it, and now I'm facing the consequence. So even though maybe the welder did not do the job well, I cannot start blaming him right now. I have to try and fix the problem at hand because it's now my responsibility. So what I'm thinking of doing right now is to cut this rack in half, so that at the end of the day, the weight that it is bearing will be greatly reduced, because putting the batteries inside this rack is very, very difficult. The space is not so big, but when the space is big, I think if the battery falls from the height, especially the top one, it's not going to be a good thing. So when I'm relocating it, I'm just going to have to put it on a lower platform, as I'm going to have the rack, and at the end of the day, maybe I'm going to show you guys the video as well. The weight of these batteries is quite enormous. Now each of these batteries is somewhere around that 65-70 kg. When you do the sum for 18 units of that kind of battery, then you know we're talking about a ton or even over a ton that we're looking at. And the legs of this rack, nothing is on it, so it's to be expected that these kind of problems will occur. Also, if you look at the part of the rack that is bad, so this is like looking at the good part of the whole situation. It's just a small portion that is close to the wall, so it's something that since I'm the one that did the tiling, I can easily cut it off and just dress it the best way I can. And eventually, depending on how good it looks, all I will need to do in future will just be for me to put something on it, and since it's close to the wall and it will not be significant, so it's a good thing it's not a main tile. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, for some reason, a lot of people have racks similar to this, which I've seen in houses and everything, and this is just like a lesson. So if you have a rack and it's possible for you to put something under, even if you cannot weld the metal, you can look for very solid wood and put on it, and of course you'll be checking it from time to time so that this kind of thing will not happen to your tiles. But in general, I've noticed that people that use especially lead acid batteries, there's a way electrolyte spilled on their tiles, and at the end of the day, it defaces the tile on that area. So the two things you can do is to make sure your rack is high from the ground, so that whenever there's a spillage, you can quickly clean it. That way it will not affect your tiles as such. Or you find a way to put another material, but I don't know which kind of material you can put, whether it's a plastic or something. But the idea is that just know that wherever your batteries are, you need to do something about it, because I've gone to a lot of houses where even though they've stopped using those kind of batteries, you still see that particular spot on the ground that this place, like something was here before. So if you want to avoid that, you have to think ahead so that those kind of things will not happen. Looking at it now, even though I like these batteries, and for me I think they can do exactly what lithium-ion phosphate battery does, but for the weight that they carry, I think that's one of the reasons why having lithium-ion phosphate battery is something to consider. Even though this one, I will be doing a comparison video between these batteries and lithium. So there are some, depending on how you are looking at it, this might be a better battery than lithium-ion phosphate battery, but that's video for another day. These are things you want to consider. Make sure you consider your batteries, the weight, the placement and everything, unless of course you are using lithium-ion phosphate battery. So see you guys, and catch you on the next one.